You actually going to do that? Well, I'm trying to intro. Aye, you got to chomp away when I can fucking hear your mic through there. Proof Mindset, where we help you bulletproof your mind through health, fitness, and entertainment. James is chomping on a bit of chocolate, which is distracting me, but let's get into it. So, in today's episode, this is the last episode of 2022. So, in today's episode, we get into. Fucking hell. Can you see him? I'm going to cut you into this. So in today's episode, we go over our biggest mistakes. We go into the biggest change that we made. And we also go into some wholesome moments that we've had this year. So let's get into it. What I was going to say there, actually. So on last episode, we said like one of the biggest achievements was starting a podcast. Wouldn't have been able to start a podcast about this beautiful studio the guys down here at G4. So when I was going to make a coffee, I was like, you know what? They've this is such a cool,
good space,
cool gig. Guys are super friendly, super helpful with everything 100%. You're doing. So, if anyone's thinking, because obviously some PTs listening to this, the podcast space is an interesting one that's growing, and you're thinking about reaching out.
If you're thinking about starting a podcast, it can't physically be better than us. Then go and message them.
You can try.
Impossible.
I know.
Absolutely impossible.
If you want some coaching mentorship, you can reach. We don't deal with technical issues. We are smooth sailing all the time.
We've got editors and everything.
No, but if you are looking to start a podcast on, you don't even need to be a PT. It could be marketing, it could be football, it could be whatever it is. But definitely reach out to the guys down at G4
will sort you out.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So last fucking episode of 2022.
Let's get it. Let's go.
So what we talking about? Goal setting.
Goal settings.
So what have you actually sat and said? What do you want to achieve in 2023?
What do I want to achieve in 2023? I'll tell you what I want to achieve in 2023.
Been trying for 7 years.
It's not working. What do I want to achieve in 2023? Well, I want to get back on that strength grind. I want to have, by the end of 2023, I want to have probably a 210 kg squat, 120 kilo bench, and maybe a 260 kg deadlift. That's in terms of training. In terms of work, I want to have my books filled by the end of the year, and what I've got planned. I don't really want to put that out into the world. What my full books would look like to anyone. That's like I'm going to tell you obviously off camera, but that's what I want by the end of this year. So I would be a year and a half in full books, and then I can work on other things. Obviously, the other goal is just when I'm with you in Bulletproof Studios, content every day again. Do you know what I mean? Proper. Whether it's with you or not with you, because if we've got that space, there's absolutely no reason, because I'll have everything there ready to go. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely. Have you thought about, like, you know, when people do some wild challenges when they start in January, some mental fitness goals? So I seen you were listening to David Goggins the other night.
Amazing, mate.
Are you thinking of anything for like a challenge for the next 30 days?
I will. In January. Not sure yet. Not sure. What's yours? Tell me.
So I'm going to need, not that I'm going to need to do it, I do want to do it. So now I'm in the Young Entrepreneurs Society group with Richard Dixon. So he put in like, look guys, 2023, like really inspirational message, and I was fucking fired up, and he goes, right, going to follow this fitness challenge. And I was like, fitness challenge? Like, I'm the fitness guy. There's two other coaches in there as well. And I was like, right, I'm the fitness guy. It's my fucking bread and butter. What is it? 75 hard. Mate.
What?
75 hard. Do you know what that challenge is?
No.
What? Shut up. What? Are you kidding me? 75 hard? You listened? What the fuck?
75 hard?
It's no probably where your head's going.
I'm a dirty mind, so I don't know.
Wank for 75 times. No, it's let me get it up. I'll get it up. Keep talking.
75 hard?
You've never heard the 75 hard?
No, like mate. See David Goggins' new book. It's probably like I'm only 2 hours in, but I actually think that it's changing my life again.
Is it?
Oh, it's a good listen.
I'll actually listen
to
it.
So I was talking to somebody about David Goggins earlier, and they're like, I just don't like him. I'm like, right, why? I'll no lie, because you've watched his short form content and he seems like a prick.
Why do they not like him? Oh, because he's calling your bullshit?
Because, I don't know, just because some of the way he can come across in some of his short form content is put on like TikTok and YouTube, it's not really, see when you listen to his story, he's a fucking maniac. But in his new book, like, I was listening to it a bit last night, and he was like, just so you don't get this wrong, he's like, going through this is some of the hardest things ever. But he's like, but at the same time, like, just because you do go through that doesn't mean that you need to still have the victim mentality about it. And I was like, that's right. And he's like, ask that. And he says he get abused off his dad. And he says, I could have blamed my dad forever and never for that abuse. And so basically what he done is he went to a therapist when he was in the Navy, and he thought he was going to be talking about what he was in the Navy, and she went, you've got childhood trauma, PTSD, and he's like, oh, from where? And she's like, your childhood, and he was like, he didn't know, and then he was like, so he buried it, and then he was like, well, he just been blaming his dad. That's how he what like, but he was fucking himself mentally, and then he was like, so he could have blamed his dad forever, and he said I had to sit down and go, my life is the way it is because of me. He said,
I absolutely agree.
It's unfortunate that people go through the things they go through, but it gets to a point where it's your problem now.
Yeah,
and you need to fix it.
I know we're jumping ahead a wee bit, but I know one of your questions was what's one of your biggest mistakes that you've learned from this year, and that was the power of your mindset. And because I can let a lot of moments in my life, whether it's been from parents that really try and define me.
You're telling me.
And I'm like, you know what? No, like it's my I am my own responsibility,
100%,
and I should be the person that can change us. And
that's it.
And
that is all it comes down to.
That will be ingrained into me. Anyway, back to 75 challenge. You must have seen this on TikToks or fucking Instagram or something. So it's a challenge for 75 days. You have to follow the following rules, right? Yeah, so you have to stick to a diet. It can be any diet.
Is this a no porn?
That's not in here, but I can add that in here. I mean, that's something I do anyway.
No.
But
I've seen challenge like
this. So this is for you'll know the guy that's did it. I'm sure he is. I'm butchering this. I should have actually listened to the actual podcast. But anyway, right. So going through this, so let me run through the points first of all. So you stick to a diet, and it can be any diet, right?
Yeah.
Now, diet can be interpreted as we know as personal trainers. So I can come from a good place. So I'm just going to go whole foods.
Yeah.
No processed food for the next 75 days.
That's good.
Next one is absolutely no alcohol or cheat meals are allowed. It doesn't specify what counts as a cheat meal. So cheat meals we would class as a McDonald's. I'm just saying anything that's processed food.
Yeah, no processed foods for 75 days.
You have to complete 2 45-minute workouts per day, and one of them has to be outside, no matter what, right? So listen to me. So this is where, come on, you're a PT. You should know if this is a challenge given to yourself. How do you modify that?
Don't do 2 45 minutes.
No. How would you
do it on half a day?
No, not even that. Not even that. If you had to do a 45-minute exercise outside.
Oh, walking.
Right?
Right,
so this is what I mean. People are like, oh, fuck, I need to run outside. No, fuck that. So this is all about challenging mindset.
Yeah.
So drink 4.5 litres of water each day. Take a daily progress photo each day, right? So this is the foundations of the 75 hard. I'm going to add to this. I'm going to do a cold plunge every single day for the next 75 days. And I'm going to post one piece of content for my business, and I'm going to make sure that that's every day. The whole point of this challenge is if you miss a day, it starts at day one.
Right.
So it's one of these. So that it's the thing I don't like about this is about the all balls to the walls rather than try to ingrain. You know what I mean? But it's a challenge.
Sometimes you need it though.
Exactly. So this won't be for everyone. Like, see, for someone who's not getting into the gym at all.
You need to make yourself uncomfortable to be comfortable.
And this is the stage I'm at. So this is where I'm kind of laughing a wee bit just now. So I'm like, I'm trying to build this fucking studio and try to get equipment in, and you get the business running, and you get operations up. And I'm like, you know what? 75 hard. I could do that. Let's add that in. So this is something I'm going to do for January.
So since you've already went on your biggest mistake, and you've already said it, I'm going to tell you mine as well. Getting too comfortable.
That's a good one. I did that. I got too comfortable. You did do it. It's only up until recently, isn't it? That's kind of really hit you.
Yeah. Because obviously, being in a new relationship, you're like, right, well, it's not that you don't need to work as hard. Your priorities change a wee bit. And then now I've went, you know what, it's not, what satisfies me is my goals. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to say something about it might cause not your woman. I'm only kidding. You fucked it, mate. No, nothing gives me more pleasure than my goals. I'm kidding. I know what you mean.
No, but I what I planned out at the start of the year, like we're talking about content and getting clients and being successful. That's what drives most people, I think, and they just don't realise it, and that's why so many people are depressed.
It's setting out a list of things that you were known you were going to do, and
you need a purpose. So I was messaging my mate the other day, He's like, I've not got the motivation to go to the gym now. I was like, what are you doing, Jim? 3 full bodies a day. I'm like, what's your goal? He's like, I don't really have a goal. I'm like, if you don't have a purpose and a goal, then you're never going to be even slightly motivated to ever do that.
Like, why are you working out? Back to the why.
It's like goals. These goals make you happy. And it's not even just hitting the goals, it's the journey towards every goal. Because if you have a journey and you hit a goal, then you know the next journey you're going to go and you're going to hit another goal. Obviously, there's going to be things in the way, but that is what makes you fulfilled, and that's what makes me fulfilled anyway.
Yeah, no, I like that. So,
but it wasn't even just, it was just the fact that I was a couple of hours here and there that I could have done some other things, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that I needed a couple of extra hours on some days, but that was totally my fault. I didn't put them in. Put a couple of hours in.
Be disciplined enough to
be disciplined to say, I need an extra hour to film this content, put up. That's it. That's all I needed to do.
Because it's not that long.
But on some days I was like, well, fuck it.
Aye.
And that was a mistake, because then down the line I felt undisciplined.
Yeah.
And when you feel undisciplined, you don't feel good. I don't think so anyway.
I know you're saying that that's one of the biggest mistakes you've learned from, but I think you want mistakes to happen, because it's now made you more solid going into 2023. So when you're saying mistakes, one thing that came to my mind is something I've done this year was deleting any games off my PC, because it was distracting me so much.
That was a mistake, or
not actual gaming. Like, I was like, nah, this is just my downtime.
Yeah.
And yes, there's a balance of having downtime, but then I was like, that was 6 hours I've just fucking done. I could have learned how to edit. I could have learned how to do this.
So I'll tell you what I'm doing in 2023. I'm getting a second phone. Work phone. Work phone, personal phone. When I go to work, I turn off my personal phone. Right. When I finish work, when I'm going out for 2 hours, whatever I'm doing, I turn off my work phone.
Right.
And that means that I have a balance between work and work and personal life. Because right now, I'm sitting at night and I'm getting texts and I'm replying to them because I'm sitting on my phone texting friends, family, etc. Right? But right now, I feel the need to reply to them. What could I do? I could relax, chill out for the couple of hours, go to bed, get a good sleep, wake up, turn on my work phone, reply to work.
Yeah, so you see, you're making this hard stop. So there's a coach, Fraser. He's the guy that's got some of that equipment over in Dubai and stuff like that. So he's over in Dubai, and I remember speaking to him, and he has something crazy. Like, he deals with so many people online. I want to say, maybe I shouldn't share, because he shared that maybe in confidence with me, but he's got a lot of people that he coaches online. And I said to him, how do you, like, because the most I've ever had in person has been like 48 people.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you keeping up with the messages? And I say, he said this to me, it's a hard stop. I say to my clients, my WhatsApp is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you reply within those hours, I'll get back to you. And if you reply without those hours, you won't get a reply to me until then. And he has a set turn off day and set check-in days.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
It is to those rules rather than being dotted. I'll check in with you on Saturday.
See, the thing is, right? So I remember asking you, do you have a second phone? You went, nah. I was like, maybe I don't need a second phone. But I've actually realised, see, for me personally, I need it, because I can't switch off. And it's not even the fact that I just can't switch off. I just can't rest. I'm not even doing that much work, but I can't rest. And when I'm out, I'm getting text. When I'm working, I'm getting text personally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like when I'm working, I need to reply to the personal. And that's just that I could sit and go, I should have the willpower, but that's not the way my brain works.
But that's why there's so many gadgets and devices and strategies to help with. You may as well use them. So the technical issues we have. I have another phone. It works, or it worked. I went and got a new SIM card. It didn't have a SIM card through in the side. Oh, have you already got the second phone?
Oh, listen, right? So I went and got a new SIM card, new number, blah blah blah. Went and got a new SIM card tray, put the SIM card in, turned the phone on, reset it, make sure the backup on my thingies. Maybe we're probably about an hour and a half into this journey. So I download the phone, I download all the apps, I get everything on the app. I text everybody saying this is my new number, blah, 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 blah. Go on my Instagram, I'm replying to a message, the phone turns off and it's fucked.
Is that a new phone?
No, it's not a new phone, but it was my old phone that worked, and it doesn't work anymore. It just broke. I was like, fuck this!
Hey, Doesn't happen to you, happens for you.
Yes!
Remember that? Remember that?
Oh, aye. Me needing to spend another 150 quid.
That's like when the ceiling fell down.
So Caitlin's got another phone. I'm going to buy it for 150 quid.
Oh yeah, good.
Aye,
good.
so I'm going
to put that up, Caitlin. It's at least 200.
So 2 phones for the new year for me. That's one of the biggest changes that I'm going to make, and it means that I can separate my personal life from work life. It means I can turn this phone off when I'm there. Turn this one off. One of my phones is always going to be on. One of my phones is always going to be off.
So it sounds like it's more. It's not necessarily about the phone. It's more about having a very distinct
work time
balance of work life, balance life. Yeah. That's good. I like that. Would you do anything mad like 75 days challenge or anything like that?
I don't know, mate.
Not for that shit.
I don't know, man, because I mean, coming into this new year, I just want to get things sorted first. I want to make sure January. I'd probably do it in February if I was going to do it.
Right.
Reason being is I want to make sure January the new clients coming in get a good service, and I'm not being a fucking crazy bastard. Do you know what I mean?
Hold on, I need to jump into this water.
Oh, I'm running late. I'm still in the shower.
So what I
couldn't miss my cold shower this morning.
I'm gonna. So one thing that I want to do is certainly over the 75-day challenge is routinely sleep at a certain time, get up at a certain time, no matter what day it is.
So,
and I'm going to be tested because it's Jillian's birthday, a couple of days before Valentine's Day, January, and then that's pretty much it. So it's going to be hard.
So one thing I've already implemented is I've done it last night for the first time. Me and Caitlin usually FaceTime each other when we don't stay with each other. For 9 o'clock, it goes to a phone call. I put my earphones in, I lie in bed, and we talk for the rest of the time, and then I go to bed. Because when see, you're saying we went into it on a sleep episode, and it's something that I didn't do because
Jillian, she calls me at the time. See last night, what was I doing?
I thought you said that in your podcast.
I was up and she's like, you need to take your own advice, and see that way you're like, shh.
Fucking bum.
All right.
No, but so last night I done it for the first time, and I fell asleep as soon as I put my earphones by.
Did you?
Because I wasn't looking at a screen.
Aye.
I was sitting in darkness.
I'm hoping,
even though I'm talking, I'm no tuned into a phone.
Now I'm going to assume, so this episode's like the day before New Year's Eve. I'm going to assume somebody has bought me blue light blocking glasses for my Christmas year.
Charlie, you're fucking man.
So I love them though. They really helped me out. They honestly they massively helped me out.
Small things like that you're like, why the fuck was I not doing that?
Aye.
Like, no, I mean,
I feel like
we made a podcast on how to sleep better. And we didn't do the couple of things.
Do as I say.
No, as I do. That's what my dad always. My dad always used to say the same thing.
So this challenge, this is going to be hard. This is going to be probably one of the. I would put it up there with the competing side things. It's only for 75 days, which is the span of
2.5 months.
Almost 3 months, just shy of 3. I don't know why it's 75. It's called 75 hard, but I want to modify it to add a couple of other things in here to make it more.
Every single day.
Aye, twice a day, 2 45-minute workouts needs to be outside. Jillian, it's the rules. I can't help it. I'm not making the rules. The rules.
Jillian, do you want to do 75 hard?
So this message that we sent in this group chat. So there's 101 members in here, right? And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm one of 3 fitness people. I really need to show up for this one.
Aye.
Because like this is me again, as you said, you need to be the example, don't you? So I'm trying to establish myself as well. It's both our goals to be one of the top coaches, if not the top coaches or leading top coaches in Scotland, and that's something that we're certainly striving for. So I think this is going to be an interesting one to go through. Remember, I was speaking about bodybuilding. Nah, fuck it, put that to the side. This is it. So I hate cold showers. I hate the cold plunge stuff. Right? I know the benefits of it.
I'll tell you right now. When you're really stressed and really tired, it's really fucking hard.
Yeah, no, I will, because see this morning.
Early morning.
See this morning when I got up, I was like, I could have got up an hour early to train with Jillian in the garage, but I was like, I never had any clients. This is back to your purpose. I was like, I need to go out and clean that gym because it's a mess. And I was like, I can't be bored. They'll just procrastinate. I used
to watch, have you ever heard of Graham Stefan?
Aye.
He's a finance guy, and he always used to have a certain routine. And he makes a lot of money. I think you will know him. He does finance stuff. He teaches you how to save your money, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
And he used to have a morning routine. And he says when he got up at 6 in the morning, he done more work. But he said when he got up at 7 in the morning, he was a better family man.
Oh, right, really?
Right. So he got more work done when he was productive, when he went to bed at the same time every night, when he got up early. He was more productive and he did get more done and he did make more money. But then it came at the cost of social gatherings. When he was out, he was too tired, so he had to go home because he was up at that same time every day. So it's like, being disciplined is good, but it comes with some drawbacks and you need to understand both. What do you want in that period of time in your life? And that's what you need to look at.
I think that's why having a work-life balance is going to be crucial. And
if you have a total work-life balance and your goal for that time is work, then it's not going to work. If you have a work-life balance and the goal for you is more family time, it's not going to work. Do you know what I mean?
So we need to get back to this. But one thing that me and Gillian used to do this was when the peak of my first time leading a team of people, and I was stressed and stuff like that. But one thing we used to have a date night every Wednesday. We'd done that for like the first 5-6 years, and we were consistent with that.
So
I might be no in the place to do that just now, but I think I definitely need to go back to a monthly.
So
at least a monthly.
They say that you should go on a date every 2 weeks minimum.
They say why?
No, that's just that's the connection. That's what they've done studies. And I follow all these relationship people and they say every 2 weeks you should be going on a date to keep the romantic spark alive.
Yeah.
Because obviously after 2 weeks, that's when you start bickering because you've known really good time together.
Well, that I would say, I don't know if I said this in a previous episode. Quality time. It was like during lockdown, we were with each other every minute of the day, working alongside each other. And it was like, why are we so fucking nippy with each other? Seeing each other, you're not spending time with me. It's like, I'm seeing you all the time. It's like, well, it's not actual time
quality
spent.
Time.
So it's like setting that aside, right? We're going to go out. Phone's going to go off. There's going to be no work involved for those couple of hours that we go out for.
That's why I want a work phone. Aye. Because I want to be able to go out, not need to turn my phone off.
Yeah.
So if MD needs me, and MD needs me, then I'm all there.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And it's no work. It's never going to be work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the whole organisation.
I'm also going to have no social media on this one either.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want social media apart from work. That's one thing. I never had social media before I started personal training again. I never had it. So I never had Instagram for 2 years. I never had Facebook for 2 years. I never had, I think I had Snapchat a wee bit, but it was
the other ones.
So what else is there?
Tinder.
Right.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm with you. It's the organisation. I'm shit at it.
Aye.
I'm so bad at it. Slowly getting better, but slowly kind of working on that and refining that.
I think when I look back on it, I think social media has an effect on me that doesn't have an effect on everybody. It doesn't put me down. I just
hold you back.
It drains my energy more than I would like to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I had a work phone, it gets to 8 o'clock at night, I say I'm done work, bang, then I've got no social media, fuck all. I sit and I relax and I listen to audiobooks or whatever, I talk to people, blah blah blah. And that's the way I want to go forward in 2023.
Good. Well, we'll see how we get on when we fast forward a couple of months. And
I think I'll stick to that.
Hold us accountable, guys.
I know when I've got another phone, I'm going to be able to do it, no bother.
Yeah, good.
Social media never bothered me for ages.
Yeah.
Like, I never post on social media for any other reason other than my personal training page. Do you know what I mean?
You got personal? Yeah, you do.
I do, but I never. It's very, very rare that I post it.
Yeah, I've just used my my main business page for anything. So I think that's the hard thing, because you it's a very hard balance. Is if you're putting yourself in that position of daily content and stuff like that, you're like, right, I need to look who's replied to this. Have I got any messages? You can get so caught up in that.
Far too caught up.
But
you're watching the likes, like fucking, like, come on, hopefully this gets up. At the end of the day, it doesn't actually matter because it's going to get to where it gets to.
Yeah.
Every time.
Right. So you had a couple other things you wanted to talk about today.
Right.
Hit me with that.
So I'll go for the last biggest mistake that I made this year. I didn't spend enough time with friends and family.
I thought you would turn around and go, starting a podcast.
Shite! Bulletproof mindset is shite.
Spending.
Not seeing my friends and family enough.
What made you realise that? Is that just something that...
Because I've been seeing my friends and family more now, and I feel a lot better for it.
Do you?
Yeah,
Good.
100%. No, not even, I don't see them a lot. I just never even made any effort with them, and that's totally my fault.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Good.
So, next one, the best client story that you have this year. Come on, think about it.
Best client story. Have you got any?
I've got a few. And
every client, you all smashed it, guys.
No, they did. They genuinely did, and it warmed my heart. But if I really look into it, I think the main one for me, I'll not name any names because they did honestly genuinely do amazing. But one woman I remember, she had a terrible relationship with food. Slimming World, etc. You'll know how that goes. Terrible relationship with exercise, only done classes. Terrible relationship with her body. And now she doesn't go to classes, she doesn't want to go to classes. All she does is get compliments. All she does is tell me she gets compliments. That's awesome. She does squat, bench, deadlifts. She's strong on them all. She can train herself. She's a good relationship with food. She understands that eating more is the way she needs to be, and she's so much happier. I mean, I could have went, there's so many good stories, but I think that one touched me the most because I remember how she was at the start.
You've seen the journey.
I've seen the journey of a completely different person.
Yeah.
Completely different person. I do have another one about something that caught me in the fields to do with a client, but we'll see that one soon.
Aye. So for me, it's a hard one because there's so many really good powerful stories. Moments where like getting someone just to understand why compound lifts are important. Like, to me, I'm like, finally, that's awesome. Like, and then see when I start seeing the message, one thing that I actually quite like is when I see people who have influence to some extent on their exercise knowledge and experience, and then I see them challenging other people because they're doing stupid shit and it's stuff that I would challenge, and I'm like, that's mad. I've had that much of an impact in that person's life to feel strongly and understand about it and got it. But if an actual example, like Scott's one's pretty wild. Like, that's something that why I do what I do. Not just Scott, but more every I'll not name names here, but I've had clients who went through really traumatic experiences with their health, with various very severe operations, and were told in fact there's one lady who was working out, incredible deadlift, incredible strength, and then couldn't do anything for nearly 10 years, 5-10 years, and she was like, I used to be this person, I've never been that person again. It's taken me a lot. I came away from there, gained a lot of body fat, etc. Started working with her, and in the short space of like 4 weeks, we really changed her quality of life, and she is consistently working out now. And so much so that
I do think I know who you're talking about.
No, you will. But so much so that her daughter even messaged me
I know who you're talking about,
and was like, look, blah blah blah, can't thank you enough for the work that you've done so far with Mum. She's got a little spark back and it's prioritising herself again, thank Christ. I said to her before she started how worried I was with her health and all that, so it's really good. So a massive thank you for that. So that
amazing,
really felt
amazing.
And that's just one isolation story. Like, any client I've had over the age of 50, it's taken them a lot to come to me in the first place. And get that individual bought into, like, we're doing some scary lifts, but watch the change that happens.
So in the new
no
year,
back pain, no thingy.
In the new year, my dad and stepmom have come to me.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
I've slowly been, I've
been the billboard,
I've been feeding them. I've been like, you need to get stronger. You need to get stronger. The gym's not about looking good. The gym's not about building muscle. The gym's not about building muscles, like the kind of muscles that people think. I said the gym's about getting stronger for daily life. I just keep saying, I've been saying that to him.
Hammer on the message.
I went to see him on Saturday there, and I said something to him. I was like, you need to start the gym. And he's like, I'm waiting for you to hang me. I was like, well, I'm moving to Airdrie, so you can start on 2nd of January. He's like, aye, right. And I was like, right, so starting. And he was like, aye. And then my stepmom was saying a couple of things. I was like, but you want to start today? She's like, no, I was going to start anyway. I was like, there we go. Because they're just slowly, it's like, it takes time for the older generation to understand the gym is no about your looks and your vanity.
It's about 3-4 months, I think, for people to consistently see before they make a decision that they're going to do something.
Exactly. So that's how long it's took them, and they're like, you know what, the gym has it. Like he said a couple of things to me that, you know what, that probably would benefit my life if I was better than that.
Yeah. And the thing is, well, they would have written themselves off for a They're like, I'm too old for that shit.
I
can't keep up with these young ones anymore. I can't do that. And it's like, you can if you do it.
So they have grandchildren, one's 4. So they'll see it in a way that, you know what, Leanna is a fucking terror.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? She is putting some strain on her body when we're with her. They'll know that. They'll know that.
I've said this before, but this is how I got Jillian's mum so fired up to.
Yeah, I mean,
regardless,
I remember you saying,
day or night, no matter how she was feeling, to show up to her session. I was like, do you want to? So you've got a grandkid now. You got a second one on the way. Do you want to be able to play a bit with her? Aye.
Well,
this is the stuff that you need to do.
100%.
And it boom, just like
change.
Just like that. See, when you bring like kids into the park, you you can't out compete with that because it's what it is. It's like a purpose in life of no, that is what I want to do. I want to be a healthier person for my family.
It's changing people's mindsets, isn't it? And it's changing people's mindset. It's not just their body, their mindset to the whole health. No, just go to the gym just to go to the gym. Like that's when my mate was saying the other day, I'm just go to the gym just because I need to go to the gym to make me feel better. I'm like, that's not going to last, mate. You're not going to stick at it.
Deep rooted purpose into it.
Yeah, it needs to be
that's
purpose.
That's why this podcast exists. That's why many others exist, because it's really trying to fight against that message.
Aye.
Slimming World, juice cleanses. I can't believe there's still a thing. But look, it just gives us more passion.
They've got money, so they can keep making money.
So
somebody with money can make more money no matter how much a bad person they are.
Is it a pyramid scheme?
It is. So I'll go into this. A wholesome moment that got you in the field. So you just kind of said the wholesome moment. So my wholesome moment came when I was out on a night out. I was sober. My mates were all drinking that, and one of them who I trained for 3 months came up to me. He'd sciatica and he'd never been to a gym before, and I mean his confidence was pretty low, and he'll admit that himself before he came into me. And when we done our sessions, I taught him how to RDL. I taught him like some patterns of squats. I didn't teach him squat, bench and deadlift fully yet, because it would take a little bit of time to get him fully into that. But when we were in our sessions, I went over his mindset so much. I'm like, you need to get better at this, you need to get better at this. Like, your mindset towards that is probably, it could be better. You know what I mean? This is why we do this is why we do that, especially when it comes to eating. And he came up to me, he's like, yeah, mate, I know, like, because he's just got a girlfriend there, and he's like, I know that don't come with me anymore, but he's like, I mean this, you changed my life.
That's awesome. Aye.
And I was
so
like,
you hear those words.
I was like, fuck, mate. He's like, no. He's like,
you get tingling on it.
Aye.
Fuck.
He's like, I'm being serious. You changed my life, like, more than you'll ever know. And he's like, I know I don't come to you because I don't have much money anymore, but he's like, you did change my life. And I was like, fuck me, man.
I guess you're right.
I'm like, fuck that, dude.
How much passion do you now have to keep doing what you're doing?
It's crazy, but like, to think that somebody can actually say that to you.
I can hold it. I can hold you up in that light.
And go and say that to you. You know what I mean? They're big words.
And I would imagine, like, I
don't think that I've ever said that to MD.
No.
So for somebody to say that to me, it's massive. Yeah. And that's not been like, I'm like, that took them a lot to say that.
Yeah.
So that must mean I've done a good job, and that's what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not I've done a good job because I'm fucking good. It's I put out a product and I taught them well.
And delivered it.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that would have been hard for you to hear, because you are one, like you said in a previous episode, it's like, am I doing enough?
Always.
So to hear that, you're like, fuck, that's that extra wee step of reassurance that you're on.
Yeah.
You're on that right path. You're on doing what you're wanting to do. So that's awesome.
So mind, we were with Kyle, see Pat's boy the other day, and he's young, and he's like, I was like, you got much fear? He's like, no. I was like, well, get it the now. Because I tell you, see, if you get to 20 odd and things have happened to you and you're not where you want to be, fear is the thing that's going to hold you back more than anything. Because you're always building resilience. You're always going to have that self-doubt though if you've been through things that have fucked you up.
It's adversity. It's like, these are all building blocks to getting you
so for MD,
stronger mindset.
If for MD young listen, or the MD who is doing well, fucking get it before it doesn't go well.
Well, if there's not there, you're being too complacent. I would argue that, because like I said, like, I could have easily
far too comfortable.
I was very comfortable until the opportunity came up to open the studio. Straight away I was like, nah, I'm going to piss too many people off. It's not the right thing to do. And it's like, well, what do you want? What do you want? And it's really questioning. So I was like, I'd be critical of that, but I don't have the money. It's like, right, get the fucking money. What would that cost? What would you need to do? Yeah. And you start going, right, you know what? Let's make this. It needs to be a logical decision, but it's like, but if you're sitting to so, and this is what Pat said to me the other day, because there was X amount of money that I was owing for gym equipment, and he was like, how are we going to work out this payment plan? And I had an option where I could stretch that payment plan over a longer period. And then he said to me, I was like, that way's not going to work. Like, what about this? And I was like, you know what, that'll work. And then see when the more I thought about it, I was like, why not just fucking pay it off now? Why am I sitting too comfortable? I was keeping money back because I was like, I'll do like really cool fucking paintings in the building, get some mural art, the podcast. And I'm like, I've got the basics here. It's time to fucking work. It's time to stop being sitting so bad. It's like, I'm comfortable and pushing myself out that comfort zone. Yeah. And he said to me, because this is a guy who's very, very wealthy, multiple supercars, Bentleys, beautiful big home, goes all over the world. And he said to me, I'm hungrier when I'm skint. He goes, I'm always hungry in my skin. I purposely make myself skint so that I work harder. Yeah. And that was something that I heard for that Richard Dixon as well. I love, and it fucking resonated a lot with me. I was like, that's what's giving me my fire. See, when I quit my job, no money was coming in, and I was like, right, I need to get that hunger. And then before I know it, I managed to get X amount of clients in January. So here I'm in that position again. I'm like, right, why have I let myself get so complacent with actually building clients? Yeah, okay, I'm building a studio and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, right, here's the time to fucking get hungry again.
It's easier to be comfortable than it is to be uncomfortable.
Oh, it is, absolutely. So, but heartfelt moment, that's what I would probably say mine's is definitely up there with the older clientele. But then there's a young guy that I trained who got a disc removed in his back because he was deadlifting and his brother pushed him and he fucked his back up.
Yeah.
And he associated himself with this big guy, and then he became the not so big guy, the guy that was just gaining body fat. And for whatever reason, he chose to work with me. And he was telling me everything.
Fuck knows why.
I know. No, you're right. Because I was like, why is he choosing me? Because I wasn't communicating I can get you pain free.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I can't do this. And then I took him through movements, and I was like, you're saying you can't? I genuinely, every movement assessment I'd done with him, I came to the conclusion, I was like, this isn't a physical thing. This is up here. So let's get your body moving. So we done a lot of mobility stuff. We loosened up a lot of muscles that were tight, a lot of muscles that had atrophied, where he goes, look, feel my calf. So you'd feel somebody's muscle and you can tell there's muscle there. This was just like
fat.
Not even fat, it's just deterioration. You could tell muscle used to be there, but it was just so spongy. And I was like, right. So I worked out a plan with him. He is now deadlifting and squatting, and he's like, I can't believe I'm doing this moment, because this is now made him a better boyfriend, a better person to his mum and his dad, a better person at work, where he was having to go in sick all the time because he's working faster. He goes, and he always tells me, like, he's honestly the biggest advocate of me. It's the best thing ever, because he tells everybody.
I know that.
He's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. You have genuinely changed my life. Like I said, the words, when you hear those words,
it's crazy.
It doesn't. He goes, I was a miserable
so
bastard.
differently from anything else.
And
so differently.
And he's very open about it. He goes, I'm suicidal with this sort of stuff, because he had married this, I'm the big guy that goes to gym and I'm benching, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I can't do any of that shit because of this fucking injury, and I don't think I can ever date again. Physios in the NHS, just bad advice. There's bad practitioners in every field. Unfortunately, his experience was like, nah, you can't do that. Do these couple exercises. And he just needed more guidance. The
physios in these places aren't taught to deal with weights ever.
I think there's definitely a shift, because I know some younger people that I've trained to are physios, and they're going into the NHS, and it kind of baffles me. I know they don't want to, but they're doing it for the experience.
Yeah.
And then I speak to them, and they're like, no, I'm really trying to change people's lives, and they're kind of brought up against barriers with the older physiotherapist who thinks they haven't evolved with the times, and they think, no, I know all type of thing. It's like, well, let's just communicate exercise and stuff. But
it's hard. I
would imagine it's a hard gig.
Right. So what's the biggest change you've made?
Biggest change
this year? I don't even know. What's the biggest mindset change then? We'll go at that. Bulletproof mindset and all that.
Mindset change must have been that I've generally get the power to change anything. I always joked about this with Jillian at the start. In fact, might have been last year. And I was like, I used to listen to all these audiobooks, and then she'd be fucking like, she'd get paid off or get laid off in one of her jobs just when COVID started happening. She was like really upset. And I remember going,
you told her a quote, didn't you?
I was like,
that's a guy hang. That's a guy hang. I do it.
I was like, hey, only you've got the power to change that. And then
yes!
So it's all up in here.
Yes!
It's all up in here.
Oh.
See when I'm in a bad, not in a bad mood, but see when I'm in the morning, I'm walking, I'm starting adjusting, and I'm like, hey, remember? Suddenly I'm like, shut the fuck up. So I know how she'll feel at the other end. But mindset change this year has definitely been that I genuinely can do anything, and no matter what. Like when it comes to business, when it comes to getting more clientele, like, if you're prepared to put in hard work, you can achieve quite a lot. A lot. I used to think that I could only be a certain person because that's just how it is in society, and I could never achieve these aspirations of wanting to go beautiful holidays, having a nice house and all this stuff. And over this last year, I've got a nice house and whatnot, but it's always wanting more. But it's changing that mindset, going, right, why is it that you're wanting? What is it that you're wanting for life, and finding that purpose to do what I want to do. So what's yours?
Mine's is nothing like that now. It probably will get to a point where it's like that, but mine's was realising that the gym is more about health than it is about lifting weights and getting bigger.
I remember when I first met you, it was about being strong.
Don't get me wrong. Do not get me fully wrong here. I'm going back into that mindset a wee bit. Like, it's about because what I've found, mate, everybody's different. I like looking good and I like looking good.
I like looking good and being. No, I don't. I like looking good.
No, I like looking good in the journey that it takes to get there for me.
I seen that. I know that's your biggest quote.
I love it. Like. But what I'm unhappy that I've understood, and that this is what I can train clients in a certain way who don't want to be like me. Like my dad doesn't want to be like me, right? He's no as vain as I am, right? And I'll admit that. And
can you imagine your dad? I can never imagine my dad getting up in the morning, walking by the man and going, "Oof, hey,
boy." So my dad and my stepmom, they know I'm vain as fuck, and I'm like, right, dare I change it? And I tried to change it for a bit there. That's not me.
Why would you want to change what? Like, change what is it you're vain about? Tell me. Tell me, what are you vain about?
I'm just vain about my looks.
But I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a terrible thing, but
I know what you mean.
Life isn't fully about looks.
And I know what you mean. Like, it's hard because when I started out, a lot of my posts was fucking shredded. Look at me, like look at me.
I'm so looks orientated. Like it's hard. It's hard because,
but you know, like you said, they're the biggest
looks
thing that you shift.
Looks don't make you a better person.
No, they don't. But you said you changed.
If you're like me and you look good, fuck me.
You have won a watch. You have won a watch. No, but you said. So what did you say there? That being more focused on health. But I think this is the thing. Like, if you are stronger and you are healthier, you look better. You look better. It's like I remember listening to a podcast and it's so true. And it's like when you look good, you're feeling yourself. You're like, aye, you know what? I'm up for sex. I'm feeling good. Of course, you want to see me naked. Like you feel good. But if you're in a position where you're like,
you don't want,
man, I've got more body fat than what I want.
There
is a mindset element there, but you know you've been slacking on some of your workouts. You know you're not being disciplined enough with some of your nutrition. So you're like, that is a reflection then of how you look.
I love being naked, mate.
So glad you're not.
No,
right at this point.
No, but like that's where when you are on that grind. I don't know. I just don't know how people don't feel like that. Do you feel that?
What, when I'm peeled or when I'm?
No, I mean, just like right now. Like, I'm not peeled. I'm in the shape. I'm alright.
I think I certainly need to work through a lot of insecurities to get to where you are.
Dude, I'll always remember this, right? I was at a hotel. Where was I? And can't remember. Right?
So funny. You just went. Oh, I remember this.
No.
What was that?
So it was obviously in the changing rooms, and there was all these old men and that, and they're all butt naked. And I'll always remember it. I think I was 22 or 23, and I was like, I'm going to go out and do what they do, right? I'm going to go into the shower. I'm going to be butt naked.
I remember this so vividly.
Right? I'm going to walk out. I'm going to be butt naked. I'm going to leave my towel out there. I'm going to walk out in front of you with my dick out.
Do you know what? You can't be alone with this because I remember at Virgin Active in Hamilton. It's all you see. Like any women won't understand this, but the guys' changing room, there is a demographic of old men. Some men take it too far and they're fucking shaving their balls and all that. But I remember thinking like, oh no, fuck that, and I'd be getting changed in the corner.
Aye.
And something shifted one day. I was like, I put my towel outside down. I walked out, dried my hair, swung it on my shoulder, just fucking stood here. I was like, and I remember going, nobody's looking at me.
No.
Why was I so scared?
No, do you know what? I thought, I mean, every guy's insecure about their dick when it's floppy.
That's what it was for you.
Right? So I went,
you started looking at the floppy dice like,
no, but
mine's is bigger than his.
No, it's not even that. I think when you look at other people's, you're like, I think, is that bigger than mine? I don't know. Like, you see it from a different angle, you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm proud of my dick.
Right? Just swing it a bit.
Right? So I was like, I walked it, started fucking doing all this.
Or get the towel. I thought you were just rubbing your hands there.
Drying myself, turning round, you know what I mean? Like I'm being in the moment here. I was like, this is it. I am a new man.
It's like the rite of passage. So men don't get that. Like for women, you get your period and you go through that, and that's your kind of becoming a girl into becoming a woman. Guys don't really have that because you're like, well, I guess you can maybe say your erections, but they start. I'm pretty sure they start when you're 9 or 10.
Aye.
I can't. Do you? This is a weird subject, but do you remember your first?
I don't remember my first, but I remember when, like, back in the day, I was like, what the fuck's this?
That is the exact same. I remember going, why is my willy doing this? Anyway, but for men, I feel that it's that moment. It's been exposed to that moment in the changing room. It's like, right, I'm not going to fear away for this. every guy in here has a dick. Every guy in here's got a body.
Aye.
I'm just going to
Fuck
fucking
it.
go with it. And then you go, I think she's looking at me. You're like, why is nobody looking at me? Just on in the middle. Like,
But from that day on, I was like, I quite enjoyed that.
aye.
It was like freedom.
That's the
It
only
was
way. to explain
absolute
it.
freedom.
But that's what I mean. Like, we're always so caught up in our head. That's what it comes down to. But that's what I think. That's why you maybe struggle with it, with the vanity here, because a lot of people can't accept their bodies. That's what I mean.
Oh,
Insecurities for me to accept my bodies because I've got fucking back acne,
Aye.
spots in my back and stuff, and I'm like, nah, I can't get over that hurdle. Like, just take my top off or whatever.
Aye.
Like, that's something I need to work on, and it's something I genuinely am getting better at. And it's going right. Okay, I'm not the most leanest I've been, but there's other aspects that's taking priority. I've been somewhat
and
disciplined.
that's where you got to understand that looks aren't everything. That's why you can get naked.
Aye, and that,
Do you know what I mean? In that situation,
Aye.
that's why what you need to learn as
But
well.
equally, compare me now to when I was before my wedding. Like, I'm feeling myself more in that wedding, and I'm fucking in a better Japanese mood. I'm like, aye, wolf. Tap comes off, like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard one. Like, I'm like, aye, like, I have sex. I ain't neighbour. Like, there's usually lulls within that, but I definitely don't have that when I'm feeling my game.
You don't. You're
It's
like,
a hard one.
and I think for me, sleep comes into it. I see if I sleep well, I'm fucking feel it all the time.
Ready to go.
Aye.
Ready to go.
Right, last one. Last question of 2022. Right, something that you have learned about yourself that you never really knew until this year.
That's a hard one, I think. Nothing actually comes to mind, so I must have known everything.
Aye, you're right, everything right. So it's fine. I have found that I'm quite funny.
That's what you're going with.
Aye.
The biggest
That is it.
learning experience
That is it.
that you never knew. 22. How have you came about this then?
I don't know. I just doubt myself less than I ever have. So, I used to think I was funny, but I was like, nah, I'm probably not that.
It's like the other day when you came out that toilet and you were literally like, I'm so fucking good. I'm so fucking good. So there you go. There's the confidence then. That leads it. Was that last episode? You were talking about like how confident you were. So you're definitely confident. Confidence means like no matter if it's a good joke or a bad joke or it's a good moment or not, like you're going to deliver it with confidence. And that's how being funny is. I'm trying to get something that I don't know what I've learned. We actually should have asked each other like, what's changed your opinion on you for me?
Aye.
And vice versa, if that makes sense. Obviously you didn't like me.
Oh,
when you first met me.
well done, mate. Well done. That's good to say that right at the end of the episode. Aye. I'm glad when we were prepping this episode, you didn't tell me this.
No, I'm trying
Just
to think.
tell me right at the end.
No, I'm trying to think.
Just because you can't think, right? So, come on, think about it.
I'm trying to think. So, like, I'm trying to like play it back to saying that.
Have you changed? We don't need to change.
I know that's what, but that's what I think. Last year, I think there's a lot of changes from being the person.
But from now, it's just like a build on everything.
I build on that. I think definitely.
As we can tell, Dale's self-awareness is shite.
No, I think my self-awareness is pretty good, but I just try to think that anything that I've changed on, I don't think there's much because I think I went through all that last year.
Aye.
Like last year, like I can't even think what some of the stuff was, but I definitely wasn't this resilient. I couldn't have went, fuck it, I'm going to put myself into a lot of financial debt to try and open a place or like take the leap to even become a PT. Like that was holding me up for years and years and years because it was like I can't be successful. And like I said, it's a mindset shift.
Self-doubt and confidence.
It's a mindset shift. It's
like even though you said something completely different to me, obviously I was kind of joking, but
you weren't.
No, I wasn't really. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to your confidence, my confidence.
It does.
And that's all it is. You know what I mean? We've got more confident.
Aye.
And that's all it is. That's simply all it is.
One thing I have changed on is that you cannot please everything. Everything. You cannot please everyone.
No.
You absolutely can't.
I knew that anyway.
Nah, I kind of tried to play the middle ground with a lot of stuff and
did
be
I?
controversial.
Did I?
No, I did.
No, I'm saying did I?
We were.
Do you think?
No, I'm kidding on. No, you definitely didn't.
Definitely didn't.
Listen up, everybody. If you're not working out, you're a lazy bastard. That was like one of your first social posts. But that's the thing. Like, you cannot please everybody, and why should you? I think one thing I want to, not want to be more on, but a lot of key. What is that? Motorbike?
Aye.
Hopefully you can't hear that.
No, I can't hear that.
James's belly. One thing I want to. Why do I keep saying one thing? strong principles.
One thing.
Strong principles or values of mine is definitely being authentic and I can't even think. My brain is what is it? Being authentic and being true to my own opinion. What's that?
Aye, being authentic and being authentic. Is that what you just said?
No, what is it? So I've got a strong opinion on classes, for example.
Aye,
I'm going to explain
being,
it because
being less opinionated.
no, it is something I can't. Why?
Empty got a dictionary in the audience.
Stop speaking. I'm gonna explain what it is. So, for example, strong opinion on classes.
Right.
I think classes do more harm than good.
Right.
And I know if I had that opinion going into the personal training space, I'll be met with a lot of challenge. And I feel all too often, there it is, integrity. All too often, people won't stick to their integrity, and because they want to be liked more than they do values and opinion.
Aye.
Some will go, "Oh, let's do a class," and they're like, "Aye, okay, let's do a class." There's no integrity with their opinions. It doesn't mean you're always right.
So I feel like my integrity for a while was put down because I was doing these classes and I was putting effort in them. But now I'm like, I fucking hate them.
Should have stood by them.
I should have stood by them.
But that's where it comes down to, integrity and authenticity. But that's something that's why we click so well, because we are very much aligned with the goals and values.
I think you need to be 100%, especially in this game, because somebody says something. Like, there's so many different opinions from so many different people, so you can't agree with everything on it.
Nah,
everybody on everything.
You can't piss people off, and look, all you need to do is try and communicate your message as best you can and let people decide how they want to take you.
I feel like if they don't, who gives a fuck?
Exactly. Right, let's wrap that up there.
Perfect.
So, happy New Year when it comes, guys.
Hope you've had an absolute belter, and as we've said in the last podcast, we appreciate everybody who has listened in, anyone who's commented, anyone who's shared. It means the world to us, and we're going to absolutely smash it in 2023, and so are you.
So let's finish up with, what would you like to see us do for 2023? So obviously I'm doing 75 hard, and
I'm not doing anything yet. So if you have something that's all right,
we'd like to hear it. What would you like to see? Do you want to see us, I don't know, podcast every day of the month of January, like some wild days? But that's free content. That's free content.
I think my brain would die.
Have you think about it? Just be slithering. But we could generally pick a topic every day, something silly like that. But so as always, thanks for tuning in. You can find us on Instagram at Coach Crosser. You can find me back to front, but there you go.
What a way to end. You can find me at Raw Gym Fit.
Have a good one.
Have a nice one.